I think that for most spiritual seekers, spiritual aspirants, whatever term you use, spirituality can often seem like the most difficult, challenging thing. But when properly understood, it's all so unremarkably simple. And I think this is why it's so difficult, because we are not so simple. We are very complex. We are complicated beings in terms of our thinking and perceiving. And so we tend to overcomplicate everything, including spirituality. So to give an example, letting go of an attachment. I think most of us can relate to how difficult it can be to let go of some attachment. But when you really understand it in principle, it's really not a complicated thing. Letting go doesn't require any effort at all. So how do you let go? Even to ask the question, how do you let go of something? The answer is very simple. You let go. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else required. But because we're very complicated in our way of thinking, most of us require some complex answer or method. So in order to let go of some attachment, we need to formulate this complex system of how to go about it step by step and so on. We have to philosophize about it. We have to go into all this in-depth detail, perhaps spending months and years studying and practicing. But in the end, what works is simply the act of releasing, of just letting go, just ceasing to make the effort to hold on. Another example, being present in the moment. How complicated is this? We're already here right now, but the mind is off someplace else thinking about the past or the future. And that requires some energy, some effort. To be present doesn't require anything. So again, how do you be present? Well, you simply allow your attention to be right here in the moment. That's all. And yet the mind makes it out to be something complicated. So I think if we really want to make progress in our spiritual path, and I want to be clear that when I use the terms progress and spiritual path, these are just figures of speech, not that there's anywhere to go really. But if we want to be in that space of presence or stillness, contentment, peace, whatever you want to call it, I think one thing we really have to understand is that nothing is required. No effort needs to be made. And it's all so much simpler than we make it out to be in our minds, that it's only our thinking which complicates it. The more we understand this, the more we come to realize the simplicity of it, and the easier it becomes. Spirituality is very much about simplifying everything, particularly our perception. And to perceive reality as it is doesn't require any effort. It's simply the act of looking, of seeing. To perceive reality through the filter of thinking, through the filter of our beliefs and concepts, judgments, identifications, and so on, that is what obscures our perception. And all of that requires energy. That requires an effort. But to simply see everything as it is, unfiltered, unobstructed, that doesn't require anything but the simple act of observation. If there is any effort at all to be made, it's in removing everything that stands in the way of our perception. It's about removing the complexity so that all that's left is the simplicity. And even to say removing seems to imply that an effort needs to be made, but again, it's just a figure of speech, not that you have to forcibly remove anything. Really, you just have to stop whatever effort is being made to create the complexity, to generate the illusions, to stop feeding it and just allow everything to be as it is, to step back from all of it and just observe the whole thing. So no effort really needs to be made, no effort at all in simply being, in simply seeing, and yet how challenging it seems to not make any effort.
If you find value in this content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.